travel, and, you know, like this match tonight, they're heading back on the bus tonight to Houston because they play Baylor on Saturday instead of Friday.
Houston with the first serve of the match. The first swing for TCU comes off of Jalen Gibson's arm. She cuts that one cross court, and TCU has the first point here in set number 1. The Horned Frogs have been really good here at home, 12-1 here in the Schollmeyer.
Well, and especially good on serve, receive, passing. So you can see there that in-system set to Jalen Gibson to start the Horned Frogs off offensively.
Dug out nicely by TCU. Melanie Parra with the swing. And that one tipped by TCU at the net, and the kill that time from Juliana Dalton. Had 3 kills against the Horned Frogs earlier this year.
And, you know, high out of system set, 6'5", Juliana Dalton able to get a touch off of that.
Back row attack for the Horned Frogs. And the attack error that time by Houston. That's been the problem for Houston. You've alluded to it a couple of times, Katie. They don't have a lot of people practicing during the week. They've got a lot of players who are wearing boots. And how difficult is it to just sort of get your rhythm?
Oh, definitely. So, you know, especially at this, you know, college level, definitely a lot of high-level athletes, but still not enough experience yet to just pretty much not practice and then show up on game day and be 100%. So that's definitely the biggest challenge I would say the Cougars are facing.
One of the best attackers for the Cougars, Angela Grieve, with that last kill coming off the tool off the block. And Houston immediately makes a service error. Look at our first look here at Stephanie Young early in the match. Coach Williams telling us she's finally gotten an opportunity to serve during practice. Or set, rather, not serve.
She definitely does a lot of setting and serving, too. She plays back row.
That one a little bit long by Jalen Gibson on the back row attack.
And speaking about serving for the Horned Frogs, you know, we just saw that hybrid serve from Melanie Parra. Something that the Horned Frogs are going to need to do well tonight is serve tougher. I would say last week there were a pair of losses up in Kansas, and then even their success before that, their serving just still hasn't really been where Coach Williams wants it to be.
Dug out by Volpe, and there's Young in the middle with the dump. Stephanie Young brings a little bit more height to the center position. She's 6'1".
And that's exactly it. When you're a 6'1" setter, doing dumps like you just saw from Young are just so easy. They're so natural. And that's the biggest threat when you see a taller setter like Stephanie Young at the net.
She was injured early in the season, just came back a couple of weeks ago, finally rounding into shape. There's the kill on the outside. Evan Hendricks with her first kill of the match. Hendricks broke into the starting lineup about 5 matches ago, and she's been playing very well.
And the hang and bang by Hendricks, I love that. Just showing her athleticism, able to hang up there and swing down the line.
That kill by Barca Ramon.
And Chuck, you got a little piece of that off the reflection, on the deflection there.
I did.
Bringing some heat by Ramon.
We're in the spot that you can periodically find yourself playing. Back row attack down the pipe, Melanie Parra. She loves that shot.
And, you know, when I see Melanie Parra, obviously we've been talking about Melanie Parra so much this season, but it's just so exciting to see her success, you know, throughout the season as that National Player of the Year, you know, semifinals nomination. Such a big accolade to receive.
Hendricks tools that one off the block. Frogs open up. 2-point advantage here. With the serve, Stephanie Young, the lefty. Dug out nicely by TCU. That ball, Hendricks, I think, was trying to set that. I don't think she was trying to get over the net. A little bit of a mistake there, and the kill on the other side by Avery Shamitis.
And the Cougars definitely taking advantage of that perfect pass situation. TCU just kind of had to send the ball over there, give Shamitis a great chance to hit an in-system ball.
Jalen Gibson with the cross-court kill. Gibson's been playing very well all year long. 26 kills earlier this year for a career high against Iowa State, gets one here.
And I would say Jalen Gibson, you know, after probably the first 4 matches of the season, one of the most consistent players, I think, offensively for TCU. You know, definitely there's always going to be Melanie Parra, and obviously Becca Kelly was in there, now Evan Hendricks. But I think Jalen Gibson has really just consistently contributed at the net.
Shamitis with her second kill for the Cougars. You get a good look there at Jalen Gibson. Had 13 kills against Houston earlier this year in a 5-set TCU win down in Houston. And there's the block. Set up perfectly at the net by Ellie Wendell.
And Wendell is just pushing low and over there. You can see just at the right moment, Gibson didn't have really any good look there for her angle cross-court kill.
Houston just has to bat it over on the third hit. Young sets Parra. Couldn't get much on it. Gibson with the dig. Back to Melanie Parra for the kill. Melanie Parra terminating that second opportunity in that rally.
And that's one of those kills there that Melanie Parra makes look so easy. So out of system set from Nicholson, and Parra able to just make such a great thumb down, sharp angle swing.
Jalen Clark at the service line for TCU, and the quick swing in the middle by Wendell, but she sends it wide. Side out point for the Horned Frogs. Clark, a sophomore out of Manhattan Beach, California. Played in just 1 set in each of the last 2 matches, but again, with the service issues that Jason Williams talked about, trying to get someone in there who can consistently get the serve in, and so far she's doing a nice job.
Well, and that's just it. So that entire rally was set off by Jalen Clark's serve, just getting Cougars in trouble, forcing them to give a free ball situation to TCU and get Melanie Parra the ball.
Third kill for Parra. On the dump, pancake dig. Nicely done by Nicholson. And that ball is out. Good communication by the Horned Frogs. That ball was in the air a long time. It looked like a couple of Frogs might go after it, but some of their teammates yelling, no, no, no.
I just think my favorite part of the entire rally is the pancake by Nicholson to just kind of create a perfect dig situation. I mean, out of system, but great rally.
Nicholson, the tip. Gibson yelling that that ball was touched. And that'll be an attack error on Roberson. Breaks the 4-0 scoring run for the Horned Frogs. And I think Jason Williams is going to pull out the challenge card here. I think he's challenging what Gibson was talking, whether or not she got underneath or not. And I think that's what she's actually explaining to Jason Williams here on the sideline in front of us. It seemed like she was saying, I really couldn't tell. So the point belongs to the Cougars as Dalton serves. Blocked nicely on that swing by Parr. They go right back to Melanie. Great dig that hit the scoreboard, and TCU unable to dig it out, and that's a bad break for TCU. It was a good dig on the backside on that big swing that time by Corelli. But because it hit the scoreboard, there was not much they could do with it.
I was going to say, that's some heat right there if it's going to deflect and hit the scoreboard.
Another one almost hits the scoreboard. And there's a kill in the middle. That time it was Annie Cook. We'll check that. And Dalton. Who will serve here. Para comes up short. The set was in front of her. She had a lunge to try and attack it. And a timeout taken here by Jason Williams as a 4-0 run responds to TCU's run.
And they're all going to bring their razors to Cincinnati when they play away against Cincinnati and just, you know, get rid of it right after then.
So out of the timeout, a service error on Dalton. Well, sometimes just a timeout like that will break the rhythm of a team, and that's exactly what happened there.
Well, and that's point Jason Williams right there.
Jalen Gibson with the serve. Quick set in the middle. And Wendell picks up the kill. That's her first.
And Wendell at 6'1", see how dynamic she is. She runs that quick 3 sets. It's just pushed a little bit more in front of the setter. You know, at 6'1", you don't expect a 6'1" middle anymore. Everyone is so tall, but Wendell, dynamic, powerful. Also, she's had a block already, low and over, handwork there. So, wow, what a find by Coach Rare.
Melanie Para with the jump serve. Backside set. And again, a tough ball to handle. Stephanie Young couldn't come up with it cleanly.
And Katie Corelli, I'm not sure if anyone has noticed this, but her pretty much every swing she's hit from the right side has been that sharp angle swing. So, you know, the off block for TCU, this time Stephanie Young, Jalen Gibson before, they're just getting it right at their head, and that's kind of what's getting them into trouble, I think, defensively. They're able to get it up, but it's not really like a great in-system dig.
Rebecca Rockison with the service error. It's 3 in a row, 3 service errors in a row, the 4th on Houston tonight. Really keeping the Horned Frogs in this first set. Hendricks with the dig, Young and Sylvester at the net. Neither one can keep the ball off the floor. And TCU right now, here in this first set, just not really handling the ball cleanly on offense.
Yeah, there definitely has been kind of some weird, unlucky errors, I would say, you know, stuff that you wouldn't normally, not a lot of like hitting errors and stuff like that. No service errors, which is great. So just kind of those weird at the net plays that's kind of showing us this score right now.
Back row attack from Para, but she sends it wide. Overpass. TCU is just going to have to bat it over. Melanie Para using one arm to get it over the net. And again, TCU not able to handle the ball cleanly. And the kill that time by Dalton, her third. And Houston has the lead here late in the first set.
And Dalton, she's red hot. She sees the opening. She's taken big swings every time she's gotten the ball. So 4 attempts total, 4 big swings.
And again, the 3-0 run for Houston spoiled on a service error. Hendricks trying to go deep.
And this right here, so talking about, I think we talked about at the top of the match, also with Coach Williams before the match, you know, what happened last week with the Horned Frogs, losing both matches up in Kansas last week. He talked a lot about, you know, offense. Just offense is not where it should be. And it's, to me, those out-of-system swings. So those balls that are bump set, that are off the net, you know, it's about hitters waiting, staying behind the ball, and still taking big swings. And I don't think TCU is really even doing that right now. They're definitely playing well, but they've got to pick it up when they're out of system.
First service ace of the match came for the Cougars, but Melanie Para says, I'll take care of it myself here. Gets a perfect set from Nicholson and then just comes right down the middle.
And perfect it is. So that in system again. So when they're in system, Melanie Para, you know, everybody on the court is really great. It's fixing that out of system.
And again, a sharp cross-court kill by the Cougars.
And you know, we spoke about it earlier. Now it's coming from a different player. Shamada's just keying on that side of the court defensively. It's really smart because who's sitting over there? The setter. TCU setter sitting over there. So at least if the setter does dig it, the setter's out. And then we just talked about how TCU isn't really good in out of system. Excuse me. So very good tactic if that's what it is over on the Houston side.
Sixth service error for the Cougars. And it's really kept the Horned Frogs in this first set.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, you see 19-18 with those 6 errors. You do the math. I mean, the set would already be over.
That time, TCU got the block up. They go to the middle. And again, Nicholson unable to cleanly handle the back row attack. This time it was Grieve. Her 4th kill of the match for the Cougars.
And just some frustration by Lily Nicholson and the TCU defense in general, just not able to really control what looked like pretty easy swings from the Cougars.
And again, the Cougars, Wendell, redshirt sophomore to Pflugerville, forces TCU to take a timeout as it's 20 mentioned. Coach Williams talking to us before the match said that was the problem in Kansas. We never got the offense going either against the Jayhawks or against the Wildcats, and that's exactly what's happening so far here in the first set. So the slump that TCU's in offensively is continuing.
Well, yeah, and I think they're playing with fire. I mean, they're taking big swings. It's just, is it enough? Is it enough to be, you know, only scoring in system?
That breaks the run for the Cougars. A big point coming up here for the Horned Frogs as Stephanie Young checks back in.
And one thing TCU is doing right now, too, they've got two liberos today. So they got Seth Bramscheiber as the defensive libero. She'll sub in when TCU serves. And then they've got Alice Volpe as the serve-receive libero when Houston is serving.
That's set a little bit off the net for Melanie Para. Nice dig by Gibson. Para. And TCU, again, unable to handle it cleanly. That time, Bramschreiber had some problems with it. The other thing TCU has not done tonight is picked up a block off any of these swings from the Cougars.
I think we need to remind Sarah Sylvester, you know, her recent nomination, Big 12 Defensive Player of the Week. I expect we'll see some more blocks from TCU moving forward for sure.
Katie Corelli had 11 kills against TCU earlier this year. That's her 3rd.
And you can see just TCU having to send over a free ball. It's an easy kill down the line for Corelli.
And there's an error reaching over the net that time was Barkett Ramon, the junior from Oakdale, Minnesota. Becca Kelly checking into the match for the first time. So TCU going with Kelly and Roberson along with Stephanie Young on the front line. Para with the big serve, and she's going to come up with an ace. First ace of the match for TCU. And if TCU wants to win this first set, they're going to have a run here from Melanie Para at the service line. That clips the tape. It's an ace. Back-to-back aces from Melanie. There's her mom. Happy with the last two serves from
conversation when you talk about problems with teams and why you lost and this and that is, and especially at the college level, is keeping that focus for the serve and how do they make it better? It's good in practice, but how do you make it consistent in a game?
Coach Williams talking about, they work on it consistently day in, day out, but it's still just
see what you get.
Yep, just flummoxes you sometimes, I guess. Melanie goes to the float serve here to make sure she gets it in. Smart move by her. Out of the timeout. Stephanie Young sets Becca Kelly. Kelly with her first kill. She had 10 against Houston earlier this year.
And I have to say, I'm loving this set from Stephanie Young to Kelly. Seeing Young get in the game and run that quick set that we're used to seeing Becca Kelly swing on.
Melanie goes back to the hybrid and picks up another ace. Well, when you need your star to pick it up, she is doing just that for the Horned Frogs here, as now it's TCU with set point and another timeout taken. See some of the fans in attendance here at Schulmeyer Arena. Out of the timeout, Melanie Parra goes to the hard serve down the line. That one is blocked, tooled off the block. However, on the swing on the outside by Corelli.
And, the right side of the court offensively for the Cougars has just been 100%. I think kill every time any hitter swings from there. This time, Katie Corelli with that tool off the block.
Service ace. And it's set point for the Cougars. Back to serve. Wilkerson. That one clipped the tape. Young sets Becca Kelly. Big swing, but dug out by Houston. They go to the tip. A bump set, and Kelly just has to push it over. Frogs got the block up, but somehow the Cougars dug it out, and there's Melanie Parra down the pipe.
And, I almost called it during the rally as go to the pipe, go to Parra, go to the pipe, go to Parra. And what a quick set. You can see right between those Cougar blockers, no time anywhere in the gym to close that block.
25 all, you've got to win by 2. Bram-Schreiber with the serve, goes deep. We'll take a timeout. Angela Grieve, who's been the go-to player for the Cougars over the last couple of weeks. 4 kills to lead the team, tied with Corelli. Both of them hitting really well. 500 for Grieve and 400 for Kelly.
Yeah, if TCU can kind of be a little bit more spread out offensively like the Cougars have been, that's going to contribute. And I also think the blocking, we didn't talk a lot about blocking just now, but, 2 blocks for the Cougars, 0 for TCU. Not a lot of blocks just in the game so far on either side. But if there could, I don't even think TCU's really touching a lot of balls at the net with the block. So, it'd be good to see Sarah Sylvester kind of do her thing at the net like we talked about at the top of the match. And I would imagine that's something that the TCU coaching staff talked about with the squad. Just, hey, like key in, let's change some blocking, whether it's like blocking more angle or line, keying in on certain players.
Evan Henricks will serve to start the second set. 50-50 ball won by TCU, but kept alive by the Cougars. Nicholson sets Parra. And there's the first block of the match for TCU. You talked about the blocking. Houston's gotten pieces of a lot of the kill attempts by TCU, and the Frogs have not done that, which is making it more difficult for them on defense because of the pace of the shot coming at them without the deflection.
Definitely.
Going down the line for the kill is Dalton. Dalton had just 3 kills against the Horned Frogs earlier this year. She's got 3 already tonight.
And all of her kills have been down the line. So I don't know. If it's me, I was just like really against whatever the coach said. So if the coach was like block Dalton angle, but she got all her kills line, I think I would just stand by the antenna and take her line and make her do something different.
That one pinballs around off the scoreboard. Melanie Parra with the kill and the smile on her face.
And exactly, having fun. And I think, gosh, offense, taking big swings, it's just about being loose and having fun. And Melanie Parra is just that, playing loose, you know, and that's, a lot of people call her kind of the human whip. You've got to be kind of just loosey-goosey and, you know, use your whole body to put some heat behind the ball, just like she does.
Parra just dumps it over. Going down the line. And picking up the kill is Katie Corelli.
And it's cool to... That's what they're doing.
Jason Williams 0 for 2 tonight as that call stands. And a smile on his face right now.
So now the TCU defense knows Corelli can hit the ball like that down the line and keep it in. So, you know, what does the defense do now?
Wendell with the serve, and again, TCU having some problems on the serve receive. Has to bump it over on the third hit. Going to the tip, Corelli. And Corelli now with 6 kills in the match.
And the thing about Corelli's success right now offensively, she's hit most balls angled, gotten TCU defense in trouble. We just saw a bounce ball down the line. Now there's a tip. So if you're the libero, if you're Alice Volpe or Seth Bramshire, you're not knowing. You're like, well, she just bounced it line, but then I got to run this tip down. Frustrated.
Service error number 7 on the Cougars. It's the only thing they haven't done well so far tonight. Going down the line, Corelli again, but this time it's wide. No point for TCU. And Houston getting some better swings off of out-of-system balls here tonight, unlike the Horned Frogs, who really struggled in that department. That one was blocked. There's Melanie Parra on the overpass for the kill.
And Melanie Parra, she's always consistent, right? Always pretty successful offensively. She can be up and down, but when she's playing like this and scoring points in every department, that's when she's the true, like, special volleyball IQ top player that we talk about a lot.
And again, TCU unable to cleanly dig that ball out. And there was no block set up again. It was just an easy chance at the net for the Cougars.
And that's just it. I mean, Houston getting a lot of clean, hard-driven, nice swings that TCU's not even getting a finger on.
Rockerson with the serve. Georgiadis with the dig for the Cougars. Out of the back row attack that time. TCU able to score the point on the swing by Evan Hendricks.
And I would say a little bit more of Evan Hendricks is what TCU could use too. I think she's hitting great. She's only gotten 6 sets the entire match so far. You know, so a little more Evan Hendricks offensively.
And that's the first service error of the match for the Horned Frogs. Angela Grieve, the graduate student out of Jupiter, Florida. That was kind of an interesting swing that time by Lexi Roberson.
Roberson had a very guilty look on her face after that kill. I think she was trying to stay out of the net there. But for Roberson, you know, getting 3 attempts, 1 kill, you know, another thing throughout the season, TCU getting those middles more involved will really help. That's something that the Cougars are doing. They're keeping their middles in the game. Not a whole lot, not a ton to the middle, but enough to make the defense have to honor the middles enough, especially you know, the middle that just is coming in, Ella Wendell, she's a force at the net.
That one wiped off the block a moment ago, and on the overpass, Shamitis with the kill. Her fourth. Georgiadis will serve. Stephanie Young going with the left hand, able to win the point for TCU.
And yeah, I don't know. I mean, I think that's a lucky off the block swing there. You can see there, Juliana Dalton was just like ready to swallow that thing, but she got tooled.
TCU finally able to get a piece of one at the net. Hendricks with the kill for the Horned Frogs, and much easier to play offense if you can tip the ball at the net.
Well, yeah, and even that wasn't a great, it was still an out-of-system bump set, but the difference is Hendricks staying behind the ball, and you see how fast and explosive she is going into it. That's going to get her a kill. It did get her a kill, actually. We just saw it.
Back-to-back service errors at the service line for TCU. Houston opens up, or closes to within a point. Jason Williams looking on. Annie Cook, another graduate student out of the Woodlands at the service line. There's the set on the backside for Henrik. Then Henrik starting to heat up for the Horned Frogs. That's her fifth kill of the match.
And, you know, I think keeping Hendricks in the game, it's a smart ball to get to Hendricks right before she goes back to serve. She's been successful in that, you know, set of rotations, just being in the front row. TCU's offense hitting 700 right now, Houston hitting 250. Kind of a change of the pace here. You know, if you compare it to last set, it's now just the serving game for TCU.
Seth Bramfreiber rotated in for the serve, and the quick set in the middle. And Wendell's really done an outstanding job, the redshirt sophomore middle blocker. Only had 25 kills coming into this match, but she's got 4 tonight.
And you know that that's her go-to swing. That is what she has scored all of her points on. If you're TCU, you're putting your right side blocker one step closer to throw a hand in to help block Ella Wendell.
Juliana Dalton with the service error. Jalen Clark to serve. Serves it short. Tough ball to handle. And on the overpass, TCU able to score in the middle. And Roberson does a nice job at the net.
And, you know, that's just it, getting the middles in the game. Roberson getting the defense for Houston to take a look at her, to honor her. And you can see, you know, all you have to do is tip the ball, get it over the net, make them think.
Set to the outside for Melanie Parra. Tried to cut it sharply cross court, hit the tape. Inside out, Houston. TCU unable to get on a big run. But a nice job at the service line by Jalen Clark, winning a couple of points for the Horned Frogs. There's Melanie Parra. She said, give me another chance and I'll convert it for you.
And it really is already a Melanie Parra night. I mean, 20 attempts, 9 kills. She's hitting 300, the aces, the back row plays. You know, her last hitting error was really just her wanting to be, you know, have fun and hit a sharp angle off of a really hard set to do that on.
On the outside, Grieve with the kill. Angela Grieve now at 5. Wilkinson sends it long. Another service error. If there's been an Achilles heel tonight for Houston, it's been at the service line. 9 service errors so far in this match. They do have 3 aces, but not the percentage you want. You take a look at it there. Just 2 service errors for the Horned Frogs. There's the block. Set up nicely by TCU. I think it was Stephanie Young who got it for the Horned Frogs.
And that's great for Young, getting in the game, contributing, setting, block.
For club volleyball, so many players around the country from this area playing Division I volleyball. Melanie Parra comes up short. Angela Grieve will serve. Floats it down the line. Roberson able to receive it. Hendricks just had to use the left hand to get it over. And a well-placed ball by Juliana Dalton, who saw the block set up and then just went to the off-speed tip.
Well, and that's a 6'5" angle roll shot tip thing. I mean, that ball dropped with such a sharp angle. There's no way anyone could defend that.
And there's the benefit of having the height up front with your setters. Young comes up with another kill.
It's so easy for her because she's able to grab the ball up high and throw it down, whereas a smaller setter, they kind of have to go up and then down.
Quick set in the middle, dug out by TCU. Hendricks goes down the line. Georgiadis with the bump set. That one off the fingertips of the TCU block.
And that's exactly what Juliana Dalton was going for. She didn't have much of an approach there. You can kind of see she didn't get a lot of air. She took that high swing, kind of luring the TCU block.
On the overpass, Stephanie Young able to block that. Can TCU get it over? They do. TCU getting a lot more hands on the balls at the net now here in the second set. Young, that's set a little off the mark, but you can see TCU just making much more cleaner contact at the net. Georgiadis almost dug that out. Melanie Parra with the great shot picks up the kill.
I mean, Georgiadis had to be in the back pocket there of Dalton if she wanted to get that ball up. So, and what a spectacular rally. Lots of different shots, lots of great defense on both sides of the net.
Big swing on the outside by Shamitis. A lot of distribution by the Cougars.
And very impressive too, Shamitis. She's off the net here. She's going full for it, and I think her fast swing was able to sneak that ball between the TCU blockers.
Annie Cook with the float serve. Melanie Parra out of the back row. 11 kills for her now.
And Parra has that feed me mentality. So that time, not the pipe attack, a little bit, over towards the left side of the court. That's on purpose there. Very tactical. And, there's a reason why there's no block up for Melanie Parra on that back row attack.
Seth Bramschreiber with the serve. That set a little bit behind Sarah Sylvester. Just couldn't get on top of it, sent it long.
But I do like Lily Nicholson going to Sylvester. I think it's a good time. They have enough of a lead to kind of take a risk like they just did. But, to keep that Cougar defense honoring the middle.
That one off the hands of the blocker. Big swing by Jalen Gibson. Been quiet here in the second set for the match. She's now got 5 kills. Had 13 against Houston earlier this year.
And the connection between Lily Nicholson and Jalen Gibson is so on point. I think finishing this set out with Jalen Gibson, getting her hot going into the next set would be the smart thing to do.
She was one of the Horned Frogs who had a really good weekend against Both Kansas and Kansas State offensively. Cross-court kill again. On the outside, that's Corelli.
And really, Corelli literally has a hammer for an arm. I mean, she brings it up and has so much power, kind of just swinging down. I mean, it's something, you know, there's some players out there that have to use a lot of technical stuff, so that'll be a Melanie Parra. A Corelli is just, it's your genetics. It's something in you. You just have that heavy arm.
Parra, are you kidding me? That ball was nowhere near where Parra could actually do anything with it, and somehow she reaches behind her with the left hand and scores.
She's having a lot of fun out there, that's for sure. I mean, we've seen her smile more than she's probably smiled in the last few weeks, for sure. She's feeling good.
Good serve by TCU, tough ball to handle, and the Frogs unable to get it over. Called for the lift.
Definitely some good volleyball going back and forth here. I'd say both sides battling and both sides doing some things differently too. So TCU picking up their offense. They're hitting 522 right now to the Cougars 323. Both teams really hitting pretty high offensively.
Topspin serve by the Cougars. Out of the back row attack. That ball long. Jalen Gibson trying to go deep. That's a 1-point TCU lead. Parra goes to the tip as that ball was behind her again. And that time, Shamitis came up short on the tip attempt. Wasn't a bad idea, but execution a little bit off.
And, you know, it's hard when you're in this situation there. She's a little bit under the ball, you know, not of the whole match. I mean, no hitter has really stood out, but many hitters contributing. Many hitters having a great night percentage-wise.
Melanie Parra, last two times at the service line had committed service errors. This time she got it over, but it's Houston who scores.
And you can kind of see why serving is such a mental thing, because you can see there Parra got it over, but then Houston was able to just get the ball easily to Melanie McGann and get a kill. Or sorry, not Melanie McGann, Ramon, and get an easy kill.
There was a whistle before the serve. I'm not sure what was happening there. As you can see, the down referee or second referee talking to the TCU players. And that's a point for Houston to tie things up. I'm not exactly sure. It might have been out of rotation by the Horned Frogs. And that's set behind Melanie Parra. And Houston takes the lead, 22-21, timeout TCU. So mental mistake by the Horned Frogs.
And unfortunately, they basically started in the summer. And on top of that, they've got school, they've got all the other things that college students face.
3-0 scoring run for Houston. Cougars looking to take a 2-0 lead. Remember, last time they played down in Houston earlier this year, back on October the 2nd, it was a 5-set TCU win. And TCU's only lost once here at home. It's very comfortable here at Schollmeyer Arena. But so far, Houston has been outplaying them. Parra goes to the tip. Georgiadis kept it off the floor. Nicholson sets Melanie Parra, and she's just able to keep that one on the court.
And really nice comeback by Nicholson there. I think she wanted to get Melanie a good ball to kind of, hey, let's start fresh. Here we go. Let's get back in the game. Let's erase that last mistake, that last play we had.
Volpe goes down the line. Henricks with the set behind her just has to push it over. And the block by TCU on that tip attempt by Rokersit, and the Frogs regain the lead.
And I think Evan Hendricks just hunkering down here and putting up such a solid block, reading these in. That's what separates the really good teams from, the teams that are just right there that are making the tournament, is dealing with that pressure and still winning, still playing in your rhythm.
Volpe with the bump set for Hendricks. Overpass, Sylvester. Sylvester taking advantage of the overpass. And it's set point for TCU. Just inside the line. On the swing on the outside. Shamitis with the kill. That is her 6th. Georgiadis with the serve. That one blocked. Shamitis got it, and got it cleanly. Tied at 24.
And the Cougar defense, they know where the ball is going to go in that scenario. Melanie Parr was out there. She had another miscommunication with Lily Nicholson. They're trying to figure out that pipe swing.
Set point, Houston on the attack error by Melanie Parra. Home.
And TCU looking for some help here with Becca Kelly, putting her in just off the bench for one swing and one block.
Well, TCU is going to come back in this one. It starts here in set number 3 as they find themselves down 2-0. We've talked about it a couple of times. The Frogs have only lost once here at home. They're 12-1 at Schollmeyer Arena this year, and their only loss was the league-leading Arizona State. So it was not a loss to a team that was below them in the standings. And here tonight they find themselves down to a Houston Cougar team that came into this match on a 3-match losing streak where they didn't even win a set.
Well, and I think Coach Rare, we spoke about this before the match, and then everybody in the Big 12 can agree that this is the Big 12. On any given day, really, any team can pull out a win that you would not expect, that, is lower than the other team in the rankings and whatnot. What I would love to see from TCU is other people contributing. So I would love to see the middles get involved, and, we got Jalen Gibson to get back in the game. So just spreading out the offense, playing more as a team, because that's exactly what Houston is doing. I mean, you look at the Houston side of the net, and there's names that, Chuck, you and I have been calling, all match so far, where TCU's just been so one-sided.
Stephanie Young starting as the setter here in the second set, sets a back row attack from Gibson, who sends it long. And you can see Houston really playing loose and fun. A lot of smiles on the Cougars' faces here. Melanie Parra had it partially blocked. On the outside, that one off the hands of the TCU blocker, Juliana Dalton, with another kill. That's 6 for her.
And, Dalton, a tough player to block, not only because of her height, but she does hit on her way down. So as a blocker, TCU really needs to just delay and wait till the very last second.
Back side set. And there's Roberson on the one-legged attack.
And something that Coach Williams did talk about with setter Stephanie Young is her best setting is behind her. So, setting Roberson on that one-legged attack behind the setter, that's something, like I said, getting those middles involved, getting Roberson. Roberson is the offensive attacker, a ball almost hit my face, for TCU. So to get Roberson in the game offensive, to let her do her job.
Big swing here by the Cougars.
And, I can't say this enough, Wendell, every single kill she has been that exact swing. So as a blocker, don't you think you'd change something? take a step over to block her.
That one blocked. Cougars able to get it over. Georgiadis ran that one down by the scorer's table off the power swing a moment ago. There's the tip. TCU able to keep it off the ground. Young dug it out. Good rally here by both teams. On the outside, Corelli with the kill.
And Corelli, just such a dangerous hitter for the Cougars. So that sharp angle attack, TCU has not been able to stop the entire match. But if they take a step to block that, then she's going to swing down the line.
Leads the team now with 8 kills. Ace for Dalton.
TCU needs to slow it down. You see the 5-1 lead by Houston. Everybody on the TCU side needs to take a breath, needs to slow the game down.
Dalton again goes down the line. Parra with the dig. And again, a mistake by TCU as they cannot cleanly handle that. And timeout taken by Jason Williams. A 4-0 scoring run. And it's 6-1. Houston here to 1. Houston on top here in the third set. They already lead it 2-0. Well, at the top of the broadcast, one of our highlighted players was former Horned Frog Kate Georgiadis. And we talked about her closing in on the 2,500 dig mark. And with what she's done here tonight, Georgiadis, 15 digs, that gets her over the 2,500 dig mark for her career.
And I think she's the only one in the 2,500 dig club. So that's something to be said too. It's such an impressive career marker for her. Obviously, you know, fifth-year player will get her that time to create all those digs. Does not take anything away from her accolades, her participation with the USA national team, being part of the collegiate national team, traveling with them, you know, being invited to go play and represent our country.
Melanie Parra with the kill on the big swing, goes to the topspin serve. That one blocked. Stays in. And TCU out of the timeout, picking up a couple of quick points.
And Evan Hendricks is someone, you look at her stats and everything looks good. You look at her fire right here, and that's what the difference is for TCU, and that's why Evan Hendricks is on the floor right now.
Again, a tough serve by Melanie Parra. Cross-court kill from Grieve. She's got 7 now. The distribution for Houston's been really good tonight. Corelli leads the team with 8 kills. Then you have 3 players with 7. And it's really been causing problems for TCU. They don't really know where Houston's going to go.
Definitely, and that's why you look at the blocking, you know, and blocking a little bit better for TCU, but as a coach, you cannot tell your blocker, take key on this one player, cheat over her way. You've got to really honor everyone. And I'll talk about the middles again, is Houston has middles that are a threat that they are setting. So that plays a huge role because TCU middles, they can't leave them. They have to honor the hitter in front of them. And hey, if Houston walks away with a win tonight, that's one of the main reasons why.
Bramschreiber with the serve. Corelli with the big swing. TCU able to dig it out. Melanie Parra just pushes it deep and scores.
And it's so fun. It's really like, and I think I'm just relating to Melanie Parra with the feeling of like, you know what? I'm just going to try this. I'm just going to try this and see if I get a point. And then when you do get a point, it's so fun.
Young can't dig it out. Stephanie Young seeing a lot more time on the floor here tonight.
And I do think it is important to give Lily Nicholson a break. You know, it's always a good look for a setter to be off the court looking on and really see what's going on.
TCU unable to come up with the ball on the tip by Grieve.
And that's the tough call here with Houston, is multiple hitters that are capable of hitting this ball line. So Grieve, I don't know on that exact one if she could, but hitting it line, but also putting in a tip that is so short, no defender can really run down. Well, unless you're Georgiadis maybe, or Alice Goldie.
50-50 ball at the net, won by TCU. Georgiadis selling out to try and dig that one out. I don't know if that was a pained look on her face or upset with herself that she couldn't get her hand underneath it.
Those are two very similar looks, actually. That was a good connection.
Sylvester in the middle for TCU.
Physical pain versus heart pain, I think, same, maybe.
I would agree. TCU, if they can go to the middle a little bit more, maybe keep the Cougars honest. And again, that ball not handled well by TCU on the first dig attempt, causes the overpass and the point for the Cougars. Jason Williams may shave the mustache tonight.
I mean, something, right?
Back row attack by Para. Georgiadis able to dig it out with one arm, but Hendricks scores the point for TCU.
Well, I mean, I'm amazed by Georgiadis' one-arm dig on, like, heavy swing. But, yeah, you know, TCU winning that point. Hendricks just pushing that ball through the Cougar block that time with one hand, the push and wipe technique.
Melanie Para. That one long. Wilkerson trying to find a spot on the back line. Floater by Hendricks. And there's a big swing on the outside. And again, this time it's Shamitis. Her 8th kill.
And I think the Cougar right side, again, has been, you know, definitely spread out offense, but has been the leader offensively over on the right side of the court.
Hendricks with a big swing dug out by Houston. 50-50 ball. And that's won by Houston. Stephanie Young was the Horned Frog who was there. She was in the duel with Juliana Dalton. And Dalton using her strength to win the point. Houston's just done a really nice job all night long. They've really played well, and there's Sylvester, though, timing the block perfectly.
And that's exactly it, is the timing. And a lot of the hitters on the Houston side have all sorts of different timing. So, you know, Shamata, she has a quick arm. So Sylvester just, you know, staying true, pushing low and over, and not going too high was kind of the key there.
Again, the block by TCU. Georgiadis with the dig, but the swing off the dig by Grieve comes up short. You're talking about the right side. They have spread the offense around, but a lot of it's come when on that right side, regardless of who happens to be there.
Yeah, you know, and that might just be something the setter likes that side. Setters have their favorites.
And they go back to that right side again. This time they try the left side, and that one's tooled off the block on the swing by Dalton, who's had herself a really nice night. 9 kills for her now to lead the way. Hitting close to 400.
And, you know, Dalton in system is definitely a sure thing. So not only does she bring height, she does have a wide range. So she's thrown in some great tips and roll shots, but she's been able to swing down the line, deep angle as well.
6'5". Roberson goes down the line for the kill. And she's out of Parker, Colorado. They pretty good volleyball players there, I've heard.
I know, those Coloradans just really, something in the water.
Stephanie Young. Corelli. Bump set for Para, and Melanie scores. She's got a double-double tonight, 16 kills to go along with 10 digs, a couple of service aces as well. She's been trying to put the Frogs on her back and carry the team all the way. But
and you know, Chuck, she's not giving up. That's the swing right here, is that out-of-system, deep corner swing. She's not going to stop now.
Attack error on Grieve. 0 for 1. Stephanie Young. Young, backside set for Gibson, and TCU will win the point. Jalen Gibson, 6 kills now. She had most of her kills in the first set. Has been quiet since then.
And you know, really great connection here. Georgiada's just another one-arm dig that almost got her team an opportunity.
Corelli on the right side. 9 kills for her.
Corelli and the Cougars, they're not going to back down. I'd say they're hungry for a win, don't you think?
I would say
they're
yes.
all looking pretty hungry.
And you're talking about Georgiada, she's got 18 digs tonight. She had 20 digs against the Horned Frogs earlier this year. Frogs just had to push that one over. So playing against her former team, where she started as a freshman year, Georgiada's just doing what she does best. Gibson with the kill.
So Gibson with the kill and a Cougar in the net. I think there might be a challenge of some sort coming. But, you know, the Lily Nicholson save on that ball was pretty spectacular, too, getting the ball out to Gibson.
David Rare electing not to challenge here. With a 2-set lead, you've got some breathing room. Why not? Just why waste that extra challenge here? Quick set in the middle. And again, it's Wendell who comes up with the kill.
I mean, Wendell is an absolute workhorse on this. Look at that swing. Just that little, where the sideline meets the 10-foot line, that's exactly where she hit that ball. I mean, spectacular. And 6'1", not to say 6'1" is short, but for where she hit that.
Blocked. Grieve all over that ball on the swing by Gibson.
And we can talk about the swing and the block, but we can talk about Grieve giving Gibson a little stare down after that block, and I think it's about to get a little bit warmer in here for Jalen Gibson.
Hendricks with the kill down the line for TCU. Evan Hendricks now with 7 kills on the night. Only hitting 091 though, or check that, 238 now as it jumped up. Hasn't had that many swings. Bram Schreiber floats one and picks up an ace. And she just fooled everyone.
And TCU needs that. A little jump, a little help, a little fire too. You know, I'm feeling all sorts of fire from the Houston side. I think TCU needs to like hold down the fort, defend their court, and give some back.
4th ace for TCU. Ball handling error. Double contact on Houston, and a timeout taken by the Cougars. Here on Friday night, we'll have that for you right here on ESPN Plus before finishing With a tough road trip at West Virginia and Cincinnati, never easy places to win. Melanie Parra with a double-double tonight, 16 kills, 10 digs, couple of blocks, couple of aces as well as she continues her quest to potentially be a National Player of the Year. Blocked by TCU. And the Frogs doing a better job of getting the block closed here in this third set.
And Sarah Sylvester, it's what you expect at this point from her. Her role, the blocking middle blocker for TCU, you know, coming around at the right time of the match.
4 blocks for her tonight. Gibson has to bat it over. Grieve with the swing. Bramschreiber with the dig. Evan Hendricks rather with the swing on the outside. Great dig by Nicholson. Georgiadis with the backside set. Nicholson sets Parra, who just pushes it over. Grieve. A little too much heat for Bramschreiber to...
And, you know, the hard line drive swing from Grieve. Take a look at Bramschreiber where it got her, right at the forehead. And, you know, lots of flat, deep hits from Grieve, especially on the Houston side.
That broke a 4-0 scoring run for the Horned Frogs. Hendricks comes right back on the outside. Evan Hendricks with 8 kills now. Second on the team.
And Hendricks just lighting up the TCU side, bringing some energy right between the Cougar block. But the biggest thing that I noticed is just like the straight down kill. You know, and Evan Hendricks, you know, not a big player, not a tall, you know, player. She's 5'9", big vertical, able to get that nice straight down kill.
The challenge here. TCU's had opportunities to win all 3 sets so far. The first set went overtime. TCU had a couple opportunities last set, couldn't capitalize and close them out. Let's see if they can do that here in set number 3. That tip came up short, and the Frogs with the point. You kind of get the feeling that if you're Houston, they need to win this set and close it out, because TCU could give them fits if the Frogs can win this one and send it to a 4th set.
Yeah, you know, I think Houston is really giving it everything they've got right now, so it will be interesting to see if they have 5 sets in them.
Hendricks had it dug out. Corelli goes down the line for the kill, or excuse me, Grieve goes down the line for the kill. She leads the team now with 10 kills to go along with 10 digs, so double-double for her.
And Coach Rare, he said, hey, if Grieve has a good night, the rest of the team kind of follows. And, you know, that's what we've seen.
Big serve from Grieve. TCU just able to get it over. Cross court kill attempt that time by Shemaitis. Missed. Side out TCU. Evan Hendricks to serve. Bump set for Parra. Stephanie Young in the middle. Stephanie Young contributing with her 4th kill of the match. She's also got a couple of blocks.
And, you know, that's that little difference that help.
Attack by Melanie Parra. Houston doing a good job of getting the block up. I'm surprised it's not a 4 hit, and there's the whistle. Looked like 4 hits. And finally, the whistle came. A little bit of a delay. But the ref gets it right. .6-0 scoring run for TCU as Houston substitutes. Melanie Parra remains at the service line.
Houston looking for a way out of this Melanie Parra service run right now, subbing in another libero to see if she can get the job done.
Great serve and an ace. That ball had some English on it, a sideways spin. 2 aces in this service run for Melanie Parra. 5 tonight.
Houston serve receive having to totally shift all their players over, subbing in Alana Torres Rivera. Another libero for Houston.
And another wicked serve. This time Houston able to get it over. Melanie Parra bats it in the air. Gibson. And that one just inside the line.
For him. And TCU really is just showing up now. They're starting to play more characteristic to what everyone is kind of used to seeing.
An 8-0 scoring run. All of this with Melanie Parra at the service line. And out of the... down the line and another ace. You talk about serving with some authority. Every one of these serves has been like a rocket.
So much is going on. I can't even put it into words.
6 aces for Melanie Parra. I don't know. I have to check her career high for aces in a match.
Well, and also, you know, what I can now put into words is coming out of a timeout, serving 8-0 run, coming out of a timeout, getting an ace, getting an ace down the line. All those things.
Fun to watch, that's for sure. Good rally by both teams. Parra on the back row attack, on the overpass. TCU just able to swat it over. Dug out nicely, but nobody able to come up with it after Gibson kept it off the floor. If you're wondering about the career high, 7 aces in a match for Parra. So 1 away from that. That breaks the scoring run, the 8-0 scoring run. Still a significant scoring run for the Horned Frogs, 8-1. Angela Grieve with the serve, and that's wide. So service error number 10. Most of them coming in the first set for Houston. They've been serving well since set number 1, but that's their 10th error. And now Bramschreiber will serve for the Horned Frogs. TCU with the block, but that one's tooled off it.
And, you know, Houston is just in a position right now where they've got to get every single point. They can't afford to really have any mistakes right now. And, you know, TCU, what a turning of the tables. Feeling more comfortable offensively, making better digs, better decisions.
Just inside the line. Big swing on the outside. Another kill that time by Dalton. 11 for her. Georgiadis with the serve. And there's Hendricks. He returns the favor and goes right down the line for the kill. 10 for her. She's now got a double-double.
And Hendricks, you know, human spring off the ground. So see that how she pops up so fast and she's able to just hit a straight down the line.
Back row attack. First time we've seen that from the Cougars. Grieve with the kill. Her 12th. Annie Cook to serve. Henricks tools it off the block. Henricks, 12 kills now to go along with 12 digs.
And, you know, this back reversal set from Nicholson, I think, is what gets it. The Cougar blockers kind of had to make a change, and they weren't able to close in time to stop Hendricks.
Again, the backside set, but this one a little off the mark. Nicholson sets Parra on the outside. Melanie cuts it cross court. Sharp angle and just kept it inside the line.
And that, everyone, is how you do a sharp angle thumb down cut shot swing. Put that in the textbook.
20th kill of the match for Melanie Parra. Henricks floats it short. TCU with a lot more energy over the last 10 or 15 minutes. Good rally here by both teams. Melanie Parra came up awkwardly on that swing. And the kill on the outside by Corelli. Katie Corelli with 12 kills now.
And I think the Cougars just digging deep. They're finding that stamina. They've been able to hang in these rallies. And you know, TCU as well. So both sides have, you know, now played almost 4 sets.
Juliana Dalton clips the tape. Jalen Gibson terminates it for the Horned Frogs.
And that's the collective team play offensively that the Horned Frogs have needed. So Gibson adding to that. I think Gibson's here. She's warm. She's ready to receive as many sets that she's used to getting. Obviously contributing.
Tough serve, but Cougars able to handle it. Melanie Parra had it partially blocked, swatted over, kept alive by Houston, and again a good rally. Melanie Parra with the ball behind her, Georgiadis, and there's the big kill and a put down really by Katie Corelli. That ball is straight down by the senior.
And Corelli's heavy swing down the line, it kind of lured that tool off of Parra, and the heat she brings, her heavy arm, you know, you see that ball bounce back off the block pretty fast.
Service error by the Cougars. Corelli with 13 kills, leading the Cougars in that department now. Jalen Gibson will serve. Good ball and another ace for the Horned Frogs. That's their 8th of the match. First for Gibson tonight. Well, check that. It was the 2nd for Gibson. Make it the 3rd for Gibson. Another ace, back-to-back aces for Jalen Gibson.
And really, that's been the name of the game this set, is just aces, tough serving from TCU, starting with Melanie Parra and now Jalen Gibson.
Another tough ball. Quick set in the middle. And the kill by Addison Poole, the freshman from Waddell, Arizona.
And she definitely gets up quick. I think that's the quick set with the setter that the TCU block hasn't seen. They're used to kind of seeing that push sort of 3 set.
Tough serve on the overpass. Grieve with the putback. Elena Torres Rivera with the serve. And another block Houston on a roll.
And, you know, will it be enough? So I think Grieve doing her job here. She sees the tight ball at the net from coming out of Young's hands and just presses over to grab it.
Fourth block by Grieve. Para. Georgiadis dug it out. TCU will have to bat it over as Melanie goes to the roll shot. Grieve tips it over. Melanie Para. Nice dig again by the Cougars. Melanie goes with the tip. Blocked by TCU. Roberson got it for the Horned Frogs. That's the 9th block for TCU. And the quality of play in this league, he said, it's been a struggle trying to figure things out here in the Big 12.
Definitely, and it's definitely a testament to the strength of the Big 12.
Service ace again for TCU. That's 7 aces for Melanie Para, which ties the school record for second most aces. That's also ties her career high as she comes up short. She's getting tired of taking those swings.
And it's definitely no coincidence that Melanie Para is on with her serving and on with her attacking. So it's absolutely the same motion. It's connected. She's feeling good tonight and in a rhythm. And, you know, that's a dangerous thing when you're talking about Melanie Para.
Angela Grieve with the float serve. Para goes all the way down to the ground to get it. And then the set out of system, I think, is a little wide. Intended for Hendricks, but was on the wrong side of the antenna. And it was Young who tried to set that. Float serve again. Para has some problems with it. But Hendricks comes back with a cross-court kill. Evan Hendricks now with 12.
And Hendricks is one of those igniter players. So she springs off the ground. That's my favorite part about her style, is just the quickness off the floor and then her tremendous vertical. I mean, she gets up so high and she's able to create kind of sharp angle attacks.
Bram Schreiber with the serve. And another ace for the Horned Frogs. An incredible night for TCU at the service line. 11th ace.
The Jalen Gibson addition, the Evan Hendricks springing off the ground, the service line for the TCU is really what's important in this fifth set.
Houston with the first serve here in the fifth set, and the Horned Frogs come away with the first point. The swing on the outside by Jalen Gibson. A reminder that in the fifth set, you play to 15 points and you have to win by 2. Jalen Clark. Short float serve, tough one to handle. Quick set in the middle. TCU punches it over, but that one is out. Somehow, the Cougars kept that one alive. I didn't think they were going to have a chance off the net, but they did. And they evened it up at 1 apiece. Dalton to serve. Melanie Para had it partially blocked. Grieve. And again, TCU able to get the block up. Quick set in the middle for Roberson. And Roberson's doing just enough over the last set and a half to keep them honest in the middle.
Well, you know, just the mere fact that she's gotten 13 attempts right now and 7 kills, I mean, that's Roberson's role, right? So Sylvester the blocker, Roberson the offense. And she's been successful. She's given that block a run for their money.
Para swats it over. Grieve able to power it through the block. 13th kill for Grieve. She's got a double-double to go along with 12 digs, 4 blocks for her as well.
Definite leader for the offense for the Cougars throughout this match.
They go back to Grieve, and she's able to score down the line with the off speed ball.
And when you're playing to 15, the game starts to get a little crazy and a little fast. So you're seeing that with Grieve there, just kind of saving the ball and ending up with a point in that deep corner. But, really what it is just on both sides of the net, controlling the ball, sticking to volleyball, and kind of taking some deep breaths.
Melanie Parra, great dig by the Cougars. And Melanie again, and that one off the tape, side out. (4-2), Houston leading.
And definite impressive swing here, just not enough court with how inside that set was for Parra.
Goes to the tip, kept alive by the Cougars. Gibson. That one can't be run down. I was just noticing that Georgiadis was not on the court over those last couple of points. They were playing with no libero.
Well, absolutely. Ella Wendell was serving, so she had to come in and play defense. She made some great digs prior to the Gibson big swing.
Georgiadis back in the game now on that last rotation. Melanie Parra with the serve. Back row attack, and that time they had the block set up. Rahman had the block in the middle.
And I would say that's something that the Cougars have talked about so much, is get a block up against Melanie Parra in the back row. And Ramon said, I'm doing that, and I'm up and over, and she got herself a solo block there.
Just inside the line. Service ace. 6th of the match for the Cougars, and they open up a 2-point lead.
And, we talked about those 5-set games for the Cougars and how they're used to winning them. They are pushing, they're digging as deep as they can right now.
TCU down a couple here in the 5th set. Grieve able to tool it off the block.
And, pure power and might, just getting it through, getting it off the outside hand of Young there, finding that opening.
Young's set. TCU gonna have to just get this one over, and again it's blocked as Cougars really doing a good job at the net here in the 5th set. Anticipating everything TCU's throwing at them, and this time it's Hendricks who goes to the off-speed ball and able to win the point even though the block was there.
And there's something to be said about the 2 different speeds of sets from Stephanie Young and Lily Nicholson. So TCU hitters trying to do something with the sets from Young. That time Hendricks coming out with a point.
Service error by Young and TCU. And it's an 8-5 Houston lead as teams will switch sides.
I really think that's the big factor right now for TCU is the setter and, finding what works with the hitters in any given moment. And keep in mind, Stephanie Young has been out most of the season with an injury. And, it's hard when you get in these situations. It's so tight. You're in the 5th set. Nerves come out, and when you haven't had that experience so far this season, there's really nothing you can do about it. So Lily Nicholson definitely has that going for her.
She's back in the match as Georgiadis serves, and the swing is blocked at the net by Houston. Shamitis with the block.
with the block, and it looked like she almost grabbed it before Gibson could even hit it.
Dug out by Houston. Gibson had to push it over. Nicholson sets Hendricks away from the net. And TCU really finds himself in a jam here. Down by 5. And a timeout taken by Jason Williams. However, the Cougars have also gotten a piece of a lot of these kill attempts by the Horned Frogs. So they don't show up necessarily as blocks, but they show up in making it easier for your defense to handle the ball after the tip at the net.
Definitely, yeah. So creating another opportunity to attack the ball.
Georgiadis with the serve. Nicholson sets Hendricks. Evan Hendricks with 15 kills now.
And that's the thing about Hendricks. 15 kills. And what Hendricks wants and needs are those tighter sets. So the tight sets that, you know, I'm looking at and like squeezing my ankles together like they're gonna break. That's what Hendricks wants.
On the overpass, TCU bats it over, but there's Georgiadis to dig it out. Melanie Parra. And again, Georgiadis. She's been all over the court. Parra. That time just too much heat for anyone to handle.
And TCU's, their system is playing fast. Look at how fast that set is that Nicholson delivers from across the court. Melanie Parra, Evan Hendricks.
Digs 4 blocks for her as well, as she's been the leader all match long. Katie Corelli, 13 kills. Juliana Dalton with 11.
And talk about at the net right now for both sides. So you've got Parra, Sylvester, and Gibson. And then on the other side, you've got, well, a back row setter. So you've got, well, miss serve to start there. But you did have Wendell. You did have Shamatis and Dalton. So, you know, the lineup right now on both sides of the net, it's I think, the best on either side. So pretty fair matchup.
Tough time to make a service error, though. Now TCU finds himself in a spot where they need to get on a run in order to win this match. And that ball just saved, punched over by Sylvester. But then the kill as Wendell puts it straight down, and TCU in a world of trouble right now, trailing by 5.
It's Wendell, I've repeated myself. Apologies for that, but just like spectacular, impressive, all the words, amazing connection with the setter. And there they are right there. Annie Cook, Ella Wendell, that connection, and that's where they're gonna go. So give the Cougars the ball, an easy serve or a free ball. There's your girls right there. That's who you're gonna see. That's who's gonna finish the match in the set for the Cougars.
Cook, a graduate student. And on the other side, when you talk about Wendell, she's just a redshirt sophomore. So that connection's really developing over the last couple of years. But now if you're TCU, you've got to find a way to get on a run. TCU's been on an 8-0 run at one point in this match, so they're going to need something like that to come back here and win in this 5th set. They don't have a lot of wiggle room anymore when you only play to 15.
Yep, and that's the tough part about those 5 sets is, you know, it's a good thing TCU made it to the 5th set, but, you know, to hold their own and to, you know, create those opportunities like they did in the 3rd and the 4th set, you know, not a lot of time to do it.
At the service line, Annie Cook. Knuckleball serve, tough to handle. Volpe bats it towards Melanie Parra. Parra on the overpass. TCU with the kill. Sylvester in the middle.
And TCU not giving up here at the net. Sylvester just, being ready. Nice wrist snap, keeping it in that deep corner, which is kind of the safe zone to get any junk balls over the net like that over.
Jalen Clark with the float serve short. Off the block and out of bounds. Jalen Clark. 14 kills for her. Jason Williams having some last-minute words with Jalen Clark. He's telling her what he wants her to do here with it. Probably saying, just get it in, whatever you do.
And Cougar is going to set Wendell if it's a good pass.
And that one is out. Trying to cut it cross court was Corelli. It clipped the net.
And, it's tentative. It's, not the Corelli swing that we've seen every swing before this.
Another ball just sent to the middle. There's a set in the middle. And the block again by Roberson. And we're tied at 12. And now the momentum on the Horned Frog side is a run. We talked about them needing a run. They've gotten it.
And it doesn't get more sticky than that. I mean, Roberson following Wendell wherever she is, taking away any shot.
Bumped over by Nicholson. There's another block by TCU. Georgiadis sets the outside. Nicholson for Gibson. Parra off the scoreboard. Melanie got the in-system set and just powered it. 22nd kill, and the Horned Frogs have taken the lead.
And Parra waiting for that opportunity to get that in-system to open up. It took about 3 swings to get to that point.
Good dig by Nicholson. There's Melanie. They go back to Parra on the outside. This time it's dug out by Georgiadis. And then right back to Melanie Parra. Why not? And Melanie Parra.
What an amazing comeback by TCU and Melanie Parra. So Cougars just kind of giving the ball back, throwing some tips that are the highest tips I think I've seen all game. And Parra just saying, I'm going to feast. I mean, what do we have coming up? Thanksgiving, she's ready.
7-0 run for TCU. Let's give a lot of credit to the young lady at the service line as well. And there's the kill on the outside by Corelli, who says, not so fast. Corelli with 14 kills keeps the Cougars alive. It ends the 7-0 scoring run. Jalen Clark doing a great job on the service line for TCU, but it's still match point, Horned Frogs, with Juliana Dalton serving for the Cougars. There's Melanie Parra, dug out by the Cougars. That one tooled off the block. Why not? 14 all. Will play to at least 16.
Wow, and just unleashing every ounce of power, everything you've got coming from both sides.
Match point, Houston. They overpass, put down by Wendell. Gibson unable to come up with it. And Houston with an opportunity to win. Melanie Parra goes to the off-speed shot. Volpe dug it out. Melanie Parra. That one is out. 15 all. We went to overtime in the first set. The Cougars winning 27-25. We've got overtime here in the fifth set.
And the Georgiadis and Volpe digs in that rally, just showing so much grit.
The block by TCU on the overpass. Young, and the putback by Roberson. TCU advantageous at the net. And they have match point again.
And Roberson so dialed in. She has been since halfway through this set.
There's the set on the outside. And that one tooled off the block. Corelli again on the outside. 15th kill for her. We're back to even. Everyone on their feet here in the arena. There's going to be a rotation here. Wendell is at the service line. She's going to come out. Lily Barron, a freshman from Lewis Center, Ohio, at the service line. She's a really good server. Melanie Parra, dug out by Houston. Volpe with a great dig. Back row attack for Gibson, and that's long. One of the TCU players indicated they thought it was tipped, but you look there, I'm with you. There's no way that ball was tipped. The question is, did it catch part of that red line? That's the question at hand here. That was a quick decision. And the point is going to be reversed.
Wow.
So Jason Williams wielding the card, gets the reversal. And it's now TCU with another match point.